Hey guys. Alright, so why am I showing you this big box? Since we're doing a soup today, I want to show this first because I don't have time to review this before Christmas, and this might be something that interests people. This is I guess you could say it's just a grill, and you set it up over the campfire. So let me get you in close to show you what this is because I'm trying to pack in as much as I can before Christmas so you guys get some great ideas, whether we're doing slicers or whether we're doing pots and pans, whatever we're reviewing, something might look good to you. So take a look at this. Okay, the first thing you notice that this grill is in the shape of an American flag. And that means it's made in America. These guys are very patriotic. And it's a simple grill. Looks like 3 pieces, 2 legs in the top middle, right? And you put that over your campfire. You put that over your pit in the backyard. Any fire device, you put it right over it, right in the ground, just like that. It's a simple design. It's just beautiful. I love the American flag look. Nothing's going to fall through the grill, though, because the holes are very tiny and the slits are very tiny. But you can grill on this. I'm going to check this out once it gets a little warmer. Right now it's below freezing, so it doesn't make sense to go out and grill over the campfire. So when we start camping again, probably in the spring, I'm going to break this baby out. But for right now, it's by a company called Grill. So check it out, Grill. And remember, it's made by Americans, support Americans, and that's the device that just arrived in my house. This is why I don't make pho a lot, because pho is made from a lot. Not only does it have what it takes to make the flavor of pho, but it also has many ingredients on the side that you put in pho once you're seated at the table, like at a restaurant. All right? If you don't know what pho is, it's a Vietnamese soup. You can find it in a lot of the Asian restaurants, even if it's a Chinese food restaurant or Korean. You could probably get a bowl of pho. It's one of my favorite dishes. I love this soup, especially on a rainy day, okay? So let's run over all the ingredients. So we need 4 pounds of beef bones. So we're going to use this rack, all right? You got cinnamon sticks, you got garlic cloves, you got an onion, and then another onion for on the side. You could throw in more if you want. You got lime, you got flake steak, cilantro, got your noodles. You're going to need some noodles, salt. Here's your sriracha. This is your fish oil. This is your anise. This is your cardamom. This is your brown sugar. We got fish sauce. We've got cloves. And then over here we have chuck steak. So we got chuck steak, flank steak, and ribs. Man, this is going to be a meaty dish. You guys ready? All right, let's get started. All right, guys, so first thing we're going to do is take our beef bones and we're going to, I call it treating the bones. There's a lot of scumminess coming out of that fat that you don't want in your final soup. You don't want your soup to be cloudy, so what we're going to do is parboil these. That means partially boil them for a few minutes. We'll let the pressure cooker, in the end, do all the work. But in the meantime, we need to put these all in water, all right? And then you're going to boil them for about 10 minutes, and then you're going to put them in a strainer and rinse them off. I'll show you. Right now, you want to fill this with water so it's all covered and boiling for about 10 minutes. Okay, so this is what it should look like. You can already see the scumminess coming out. You see that? If you see big chunks of scumminess, get a spoon and scoop it out first before you put them in a strainer. You want to bring that to bring that to a boil and cook it for about 10 minutes. Right now we're currently on medium-high heat. Really quick, I want to show you just some of the gunk we got off of our rib bones was all this scumminess we scraped off the top of the water. And that's why you got to parboil your ribs first before you start making this soup. So the next thing is put this on saute because it's toasting time. You're going to get your seasoning, get your cinnamon, cardamom, and cloves. You're going to dump those in. All right. take your anise, or if you were able, I have seeds of anise, but if you have star anise, they're in the shape of a star, grab those according to the recipe, dump those in. We can let these heat up under saute, and every so often mix them around. When they become fragrant, we're done. Should only take a few minutes. All right, now unplug this. All the seasoning is toasted. It's beautiful. We're using the Ninja Foodi here because I'm a big Ninja fan. You can use any kind of a pressure cooker company, doesn't matter, but I favor the Ninja Foodi. Okay, go ahead and pretty much add everything in. You're gonna add some ginger. You're gonna add the brown sugar. You're gonna add the onions. You can hear that's on saute. You're gonna add the garlic. Oh, let me do the water next. So here's where I changed up the recipe. You're gonna add your water. Okay. I'm adding like roughly like that much for right now. We're gonna fill it up in a minute, but basically I'm putting a little bit of water in there because they told us that this can be used also after we're done in this soup mixture, is to reuse this meat when you're serving the soup. So we're going to take the meat and put it in our silicone strainer for the pressure cooker for our Ninja Foodi. So it tells us to fish out the meat. Well, I don't want to be fishing out the meat. So I'm going to drop it in like this so I can pull all the meat out and nothing else. Some other things will probably get in there, but let's try it out. Drop that in. Okay, see, now we got that. Hold on. Now we got the, don't forget the fish sauce. Fish sauce. Boy, I'm speaking clearly today. Dump that in. Okay. A nice pinch of salt. Get that up there. We're filling up. Then we're going to fill this up to the max line with liquid. And then when we're done, we can just fish out our meat just like that. This is my design. I just came up with this. This may fail miserably, but it's my design. And then fill to the max line, okay? Not there yet. We need a little bit more water. Yeah, see, you're going to see some of the seasoning get in there. That's fine. We want the meat seasoned for the soup, but we don't want to have to try and fish out all the meat chunks. We want to be able to just pull it right out. That's good, honey. I only pinch. Thank you.
You want to make sure that that's down to the handles and everything.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
We're just under the max line. That's good enough for me. Okay, guys, as you know, I make mistakes. So one fix I'm doing right now, I pulled the meat basket out. I took a little bit of water out because I forgot to put my bones in first. So I'm going to put the bones in now, put the meat on top of it. We're going to close this up, and then we're going to be able to pressure cook it. You ready? Here we go. You can dump that. We're not going to need that, I promise. I got my water in here, got my bones in here. And you know what? We're giving up on the meat basket idea. It was a stupid idea anyway. This is a better idea because the basket won't fit anymore because there's so much in here. See, we're at the max line now. Here's the easy part. We're going to put the lid on now and we're going to cook it. Now grab your lid. Be careful. Put it in place. Make sure the valve is to seal, not to vent, but to seal, okay? And then you're going to cook this on high for 1 hour. Then you're going to come back here. We'll tell you what to do next. Okay, guys, while it's in the pressure cooker cooking, it's 1 hour. We're going to prepare the meat for serving. This is the meat we're going to use in the final dish. You're going to cut against the grain. If you don't know what the grain is, it's the lines that look like fibrous part of the meat. It shows there's grooves or lines. You cut across that. All right, and cut as thin as you can. Because what we're going to do is the soup is supposed to cook this meat. I'll show you later on in the video. But give me thin slices as thin as you can go. Now we're going to cut up the onions for serving. These are all things that are going to be raw at the moment, but once we throw it in the boiling hot soup, they should cook up nicely. So go ahead and cut your onion in half, and then you're going to slice it really thin. Everything's thin. Just like that. Perfect. Okay, now on to the cilantro to prepare for the final dish. You're going to remove all the top of the cilantro. You're going to take half of it, roughly chop it up, and the other half leave completely whole. All right, we've done the meat, we've done the onions, we've done the cilantro. Here's something that I didn't have. It's in the original recipe down below, but I'm adding it into the video right now. We're going to take some green onions and chop them up too. So all we want is the greens. We don't want the white bulb part of this. You're going to thinly, as thin as you slice the onions, slice these green onions, okay? And put them all in one bowl, and we'll use them in a little bit. All right, guys. I always remind you, every single time, when you open the valve, have a glove. Okay? It's going to be hot steam coming out. Are you ready? And step back a little bit. Okay, it's going to take a moment to let out all the pressure. So give it a minute or two. Wow, that smells amazing. I can smell it. Okay. Crack open the lid, and don't forget, water's in the lid, so it's going to drip. So we'll make it pour back into the soup. All right, let me just stir it up a little bit. That looks really good. Let me get the bones out of here. Throw them in a bowl. What if these bones are edible? These are good ribs. Oops. Get that onion off there. There we go. Oh, it smells so good. Reminds me of getting it at the restaurant in California. Okay, go get your strainer. Once the bones are all out, we're going to be straining all this, okay? Now go ahead and strain it through your fine mesh strainer. Collect all that goodness and get all the yuckiness out of the broth. Alright guys, so we're going to put a cover on this. We're going to pop in the refrigerator, and by the morning, any yuckiness will come to the top as it cools. Then we'll take it out and we'll prepare our soup. You ready? I will see you first thing tomorrow. Alright guys, this is why you cool your broth, because you're going to get this layer of junk that will solidify on top, and you carefully remove that. Use a spoon, a spatula, however, be careful not to get it back into the broth, okay? And pull this out. The last step is parboiling also the noodles. So we've got to put them in a bowl and pour boiling water over them. So we're going to use this pot to make boiling water, and you do this while the broth is heating up and also coming to a boil. Okay, so while we're waiting for the water for the noodles to boil, while we're waiting for the broth to boil, we're waiting for everything to boil. Once we drop this meat in boiling broth, it's going to cook. It's going to cook the onions, it's going to cook the cilantro, it's going to cook the onions. So this is what it looks like. It's going to start in our soup. Noodles, meat, onions, cilantro, and more onions. All right? So in the restaurant, they give you this on the side. It would have bean sprouts too, but we tossed ours. It would have hoisin on the table. It would have red rooster on the table. You put them both in the soup, It's boiling hot. Excuse me, my mouth's watering. And then you put more of this if you want more stuff. Squeezing lime into it is awesome. If you love onions, you put more onions. You want a little heat, put some jalapenos in there. And then my wife goes for cilantro right away. Sometimes they'll have basil out. There's a million things you could put on the side. All right? So we are all ready. We're just waiting for the broth and the water to boil. Bring your boiling water over. It's hot off the stove. Pour it over your noodles. Not onto the host of the show. Beautiful. Dump as much as you want. Just cover the noodles with that boiling water. And you want to kind of cook them to where you like them. Get the noodles where you want them, okay? Let them sit in this hot water right now while we wait for the broth to boil. Just a few minutes. Test the noodles. If it tastes good, you're kind of pretty much cooking them. Move them around. Ouch. Don't burn yourself. I didn't realize how high the water was. Just move them around so they'll be loose. Pasta likes to stick together. If you put a little bit of oil in here, it'll prevent them from sticking, but you know, I'm not going overboard here. Just moving them a little bit. There we go. And let those noodles cook, okay? Then we're gonna get ready for, we're gonna drain this and get ready to make our soup. We've strained our pasta. It's like al dente. It's a little stiff, little bit hard to chew, but the broth will cook it the rest of the way, okay? So we're gonna take a little bit of the noodles, put them at the base of our soup, okay? We're gonna take a couple pieces of our raw meat, get those at the bottom. I'll put 3 in here. And then take some onions in there, some cilantro, and some green onions. Okay, now we're going to bring over the pot of boiling broth to pour on top of this. All right, guys, be very careful because it's boiling hot. So I'm going to take the broth here, pour it over the soup.
You can pour it if you want.
You want to cover everything. The meat's already cooking. It's so hot. Pour it right onto the meat. Like it's medium rare right now. Look at it. That is crazy. All right, just a little bit more. There we go. Now I'm going to make this soup like I normally make this soup. Now I've got all the add-ons. So let me make the soup like I'm at the restaurant. They just brought me my bowl. The meat's cooking. It was raw, but this is so hot that it's already made it medium rare. Okay? So I take a little bit of lime, squeeze it into my soup. Then I pass it to my wife. She squeezes some into hers because I like onions in there. Put a little more onions. I like a little bit of heat, so I'll take a few slices of jalapenos. They have seeds in there. Be careful. Take some more green onion. Oh, we're just going to town. Take a little bit of cilantro to add to the cilantro you already have in the dish. All right. Get it all mixed in because the heat is just cooking the soup right in front of you. Okay. Now it smells amazing right now, but nothing's better than adding red rooster and hoisin sauce. So let's add the hoisin sauce. Okay, this is what makes the broth nice and dark. Look at the meat. It's almost all cooked. Vegetables are nice and soft. The broth has become darker because of the hoisin sauce. If you don't like spice, don't use red rooster. But if you like spice, put a little red rooster in there. Oh my goodness. You have no idea what this is going to taste like right now. Beautiful. Okay, this is piping hot. Remember, it's so hot that it cooked everything. It cooked the pasta all the way to finished. It cooked the meat to, it's almost medium right now. It's still cooking the meat. It's cooking softening up the vegetables. Oh, it's so good. If you've never had this, it's below freezing right now. So it's amazing to have on a rainy day. It's usually like $14 a bowl, but you get a way bigger bowl than this. Oh, that's it. This is a home run recipe, guys. I'll say it's good if it's good. If it's a home run recipe, it's better than I expected. It's unbelievable. Let's try a piece of meat here. Here we go. So tender. All right, guys. I'm going to go cuddle up with this bowl of soup, and you guys got to try it. This is how you make it in your Ninja Foodi or your Instant Pot or your, all the other pressure cookers. Oh, it's so rich and delicious. I think it needs a little bit more spice. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.